Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop.
Hey guys, we've had some requests on Discord to run through some basic audio setups to make everything sound a lot nicer when you're streaming on Twitch with OBS. I'm going to run through basically how to set up your microphone and also how to get audio out of your PC so people on Twitch can hear the music that you might be playing or games that you might be playing. Jumping into OBS, you'll see that I already have an audio channel set up. Don't worry about that, I'm actually using OBS to record this audio. To set up a microphone, you just need to go to the sources window, down to this little plus button, add an audio input capture, name it whatever you like. I suggest naming it whatever your microphone might be called in Windows. Hit OK. In device, you'll see a drop down menu that might have a bunch of options. Ours does. For you might want to select microphone, or it might be called USB microphone. Just again, whatever your microphone is called in Windows is what you need to select in this menu, and hit OK. I'm not going to hit OK because I'm not using this, but if you did hit OK, you would see the source that you just created pop up in sources. You'll also notice a channel by the same name appear in Audio Mixer. These numbers here measure the decibel or level of volume that the microphone is recording at any time. While recording voice, it's recommended to keep the volume at around about -12 dB. This here is -15. That's -10. So you'll want to be somewhere in between, and maybe you can go a little bit higher, a little bit lower. The ultimate goal is to be around about here for your microphone. But if you can see that the audio is also hitting red, that means it's too loud and it's getting close to peaking and causing distortion. There's a couple of ways you can combat this. You can physically move the microphone away from your mouth. You can turn the channel volume down, or there's another slightly more advanced thing you can do. This is also something that you might want to implement no matter what, because if you get really excited playing a game and you start yelling, distortion happens, it's ugly. This will stop that distortion from happening. So you just need to go to the little cog here, go down to your filters, go to the plus button to add a limiter. I'm just going to name it limiter because that's what it is. You'll see two sliders, threshold and release. Now don't worry about release for now. You probably won't ever really have to worry about it too much. Threshold is the one you want to look at. A good way to set this is by moving the slider all the way up, which essentially turns it off. It's not doing anything. But then speak loudly as if you're really excited about the game, and bring the threshold down until you see that the audio doesn't hit red at all. No matter how loud I speak, it doesn't distort because it won't go up into that red. So that's how you want that set. It'll be different for you. It's different for everyone and everyone's microphone, but use that method. Another more advanced thing that you might want to do to clean up your audio even further while you're on stream, you might notice with a lot of streamers, especially new streamers, you hear typing sounds whenever they're using the keyboard. You might hear clicking sounds from the mouse. What you want to do here is use something called a noise gate. This is something that you should not leave at default because it might be too sensitive. It might not be sensitive enough for your own voice. So again, we're going to make some tweaks. This time, ignore everything else but the open threshold. So bring this slider all the way up and it will cut out your voice entirely. But you need to slowly back it away until you see that you're able to speak with relative ease. Test, 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 test. There we go. It sort of came in at around about 13 decibel, but at 16, I don't have to work too hard to get the audio to come through. If it is too high though, you will hear that it will cut out parts of your words and it will sound very good. Now we need to do the opposite end. We need to make sure that we can cut out the sounds that you might not want in the silences, like keyboard strokes. You essentially turn the threshold off and you type on your keyboard while slowly bringing this slider up so you can see at what point that sound is ducked. So, typing. Bring it up. There it is. At around about just below 29 decibels is where it cut out the typing sounds from my keyboard. Remember that my voice came in at about 16. I would probably put this threshold somewhere in the middle, because then it makes sure that it's not going to cut out your voice by accident, and it's always going to make sure that those sounds from your keyboard, from your mouse, banging on the desk and stuff like that won't show up in the mix. Now, to get audio from, say, music that you might want to play on stream, games, and Discord, you need to set up another audio channel. The way you do this is very similar to the way that you've set up your mic. You just go down to plus to add an output capture this time. Name it whatever you like. I set mine to speakers because that will capture anything that you hear coming out of the speakers or coming out of your headphones will be captured by OBS and then sent to Twitch. And you'll see a new track appear in the audio mixer. If we start playing some stream beats, for example, you'll see that the audio from Spotify or YouTube Music, whatever you use, will come through that track that you've just created. When you're listening to music or you're playing a game on stream, you need to make sure that your voice is not drowned out by the game or by the music. I use this visual representation here. Around about halfway up green tends to be pretty good as a benchmark, because then no matter what, the audio is not going to get too loud, it's not going to drown out your voice. So this is actually a little too high. I'll bring this down a bit. That should be about okay. You also need to balance the audio coming out of the applications from, say, Spotify and Discord so they sound nice on stream. The way that I do that is by using the Windows audio mixer. To do that, you just need to go down to your system tray and right click on the speakers icon, open volume mixer, and this is where it all is. In here, it shows all the applications that are open that will be creating sound. You can see that my levels are sort of all over the place because they are set for streaming. If you find that the music is too loud in Spotify, you can balance it here. If you find it too loud in Discord, you can balance it here. When you're co-streaming, you need to make sure that you're a little bit louder than them so they can still be heard, but they don't end up speaking over everything that you say. That's a very basic overview of how to set up your audio and how to balance it in OBS. We stream 4 to 5 times a week on Twitch, and if you have any other questions or any suggestions for videos, feel free to drop them in the comments below or jump into our Discord. There's lots of streamers in there. We're all willing to help. Someone's always active at any time of the day. We've got people from all over the world in there. I think we're approaching about 150 members now, so we're growing quite quickly. And as I said, everyone's willing to help. But until next time, we'll see you on Twitch.
All right, before I go any further with the joke I'm going to make, Scott, how old are you?
I'm 16.
Fuck! Fuck you, Jerry!
I timed out Jerry. I timed out Jerry.
Ah, that's so perfectly timed!
Don't ruin this for me.
Can't stop